The trees seemed alive as he entered the forest. Their gnarled branches twisted toward him like skeletal hands, and the air was thick with an unnatural chill. Sam pressed on, dismissing his unease as nerves. He found a small clearing and set up his recorder. Hours passed in silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves. Just as he began to relax, he heard it, faint, indistinct whispers. They were soft at first, like the wind playing tricks on his ears. But as the minutes stretched on, they grew louder and more distinct, though he couldn't make out the words. Sam's pulse quickened. "Who's there?" he called, his voice trembling. The whispers stopped. The silence that followed was deafening. Then, a woman's voice, clear and close, whispered directly into his ear, "You shouldn't have come." Sam spun around, his flashlight darting through the darkness. There was no one there. The whispers resumed, louder and more frantic now, coming from all directions. They overlapped, creating a maddening cacophony that made it impossible to think. Panicked, Sam grabbed his recorder and bolted toward the direction he thought led back to town. But the trees seemed to shift, their roots tangling around his feet, their branches blocking his path. The whispers followed, taunting him, growing louder with every step. Finally, he stumbled into a small clearing he didn't recognize. In the center was a tree unlike the others. Its bark was black, and its twisted branches seemed to pulse with a faint, red glow. At its base was a figure, a woman in a tattered dress, her face obscured by a curtain of long, black hair. "Help me," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the chorus of whispers. Sam froze, his instincts screaming at him to run, but his curiosity rooted him in place. "Who are you?" he asked. The woman slowly raised her head. Her eyes were hollow sockets, black as the void, and her mouth twisted into an unnatural smile. "I was like you once," she hissed. "But now, I belong to them." Before Sam could react, the roots of the black tree shot out of the ground, wrapping around his legs and pulling him toward the woman. He screamed, struggling against the impossible force, but it was no use. As the roots tightened, the whispers grew deafening, their words finally clear. "One of us. One of us. One of us." The last thing Sam saw before the darkness consumed him was the woman's face, her hollow eyes staring into his soul. The next morning, the townsfolk found his recorder just outside the forest's edge. The final audio was nothing but whispers, soft, mocking, and endless. No one dared to go looking for Sam. They knew the Whispering Woods had claimed another.